Today, I decided that I will do a day in my life as a community health nurse. And this involves pretty much going into people's homes to provide care for them in their homes. A lot of times, when people go into the hospital with the demand for beds and increasing demand for beds and the number of people coming into the hospital, there has been more of a push for keeping people in the hospitals for a very minimal amount of time. So when these people get into the homes, the most important thing is that they are stable. Nurses can come into their homes to provide ongoing care for them. And that is where I come in. I am a nurse who used to be an accountant and worked in the hospital for a little bit. More about that later. But now I work in the community. So the time is 10:03 a.m. I'm supposed to work from 10 to 6 p.m. But one good thing about working in the community is that there is a lot more flexibility to working in the community. I have about 11 visits and 11 calls that I have to make today, but 10 of them are on time, like on scheduled visits, right? So it's pretty much, I could go there even 9 a.m. if whichever client is willing to see me that early, right? So I have pretty much the flexibility to see my clients when it's depending on how convenient or how I plan out my day. I only have one scheduled timed visit, which is at 1 p.m. right? So there's a lot of flexibility. But before I start out my day, let me take somebody to the airport and make a quick $13. It's about a 10-minute drive. So this is also something I do a little bit on the side to just put a little bit more money in my pocket, right? So just to help for my car and just do some things, right? So that helps out a lot considering how expensive living in Canada is getting. Every income you get, every little thing you get goes a long way, right? And what I try to do is make somewhere between 30 to $50 every day from this side hustle, just giving people ride hailing on the side. And besides, I am actually headed in the direction that this guy is going, so that's just an easy buck for me. Sorry about the camera. So, but yeah. Don't get me wrong, working in the community has its advantages and disadvantages. So, which brings me to the point where I'm going to try to make a bull and bear case for why I think or why I love working in the community. Which pretty much I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages, right? And I am going to start with the advantages. Number one advantage why I think working in the community is better suits me is the flexibility that it provides, right? Like I said before, I have to see 11 clients today. I have to make 11 calls today. The time is 10 a.m. and I have a lot of on-time visits, which pretty much means that I can do them, prioritize my visits based on what is convenient for me, right? So I look at the maps where my clients' locations and I just go from person to person depending on how close or depending on the proximity that they have with each other. So number one advantage for me is the flexibility. I could take some time off, take a break. If I have something to do in between the day, I could quickly go rush, attend to it, and get back out there and continue to do my job. That is a huge win for me. That is a huge advantage. And that is also that's why I think working in the community is actually great. Number two, which is I think is also very important, is the level of stress. Working in the community is not as stressful as working in the hospital, right? You get to do pretty much the same tasks, but But in the hospital, there's just too many things that is being done in the hospital, which I do not think is pure nursing job, right? Yeah, working in the hospital, you pretty much do housekeeping, right? You clean your patients up, you fetch them water, you set their food up, you feed them, you do a lot of things that require no skill, no thought. You don't have to put any thought into it. And these are the things that I think PSWs are there for. But when you work in a hospital where even the PSWs are being cut from the nursing floors, it just increases the amount of tasks that are not related to nursing that you have to do, right? You have no time to think, you have no time to like figure out what's going on with your patients, look more at their lab, like, because you're running around doing a lot of unskilled tasks that could easily be delegated and passed to somebody else, and that is not what's in the community. So I think you pretty much do this, you do know your nursing skills in the community, but you don't get to do all these other unskilled tasks that people do in the hospital. When I go out to my clients, I'm either doing wound care, I'm giving medications, I am doing pretty much the same things that you would do working in the hospital, but they're doing it in the patient's home, right? Number 3, and this, I think this is an easy one. My clients are stable. Working in acute care, you have pretty much unstable clients. My clients are more stable. You can have conversations with them. Like, you can talk to them. You're not under any form of pressure. You can ask them questions, understand what is going on with them, talk to their family members. They can provide more information that helps you kind of put everything together and figure out how best to help them. And you also, in my opinion, also have a lot of support. You have people back at the office who you can call and ask questions. You have colleagues who are also not stressed out during the day, that you can just give them a call and ask questions. And there are also doctors, and there's just a whole healthcare team that is out here in the community that you can ask questions and get clarifications on things that you are unclear of, or things that you need guidance on how to proceed or what course of action to take. So, like, these are some of the advantages I see working in the community, and honestly, I love it. And as we go forward, before the end of my day, I will talk to you about some of the disadvantages I see working in the community. And I believe, even without being told, you probably can think of some off the top of your head, right? So, see you. Let me go see my first client. All right, I will see you in 5 minutes. Before you go out to see anybody, you have to give them a call, right? And ask them if it is okay to come over. And in my experience, they are very much collaborative, right? They are very helpful. They try to, like, if you give them a call, they want you to come over, right? Because if they know they have the visit, right? So I rarely get people who decline visits just for the sake of it, because the fact is that is how I get paid. People rarely decline visits, but sometimes it happens just because they might have appointments, they have other engagements, they are just probably too weak, too tired, they are not feeling the best, and they just don't want you to come over. Some of these things happen, but it does not happen very often. I have barely had people decline their visits just because you went there once and they do not like the look of your face, and they do not want to see you anymore, even though they have the liberty to do that. All they have to do is call the office and tell them that they do not want to see a particular nurse, or the nurse who was there to see them at a particular point. And I'm not going to say it's never happened to anybody. I do not know of anyone it has happened to, but I think that is something that gets to happen when you work in the community, but that has not been my experience overall. 95% of the time, I get to see the clients that are assigned to me. Rarely do I get people who decline. So first client done, took me about 25 minutes. On to my next client, who is 5 minutes away. So pretty decent. Second visit complete, took me about 10 minutes, but I decided to stay back and chat with my client for another 15 minutes. So total of 25 minutes put in, and I'm out here going on to see my next clients, which is one of the beautiful things about working as a community nurse. You get to spend a little bit more time, chat with your clients. They love it, makes them feel seen, and I love doing that. So, on to the next clients. So, my third client for today, which was supposed to be my timed visit. So, I give my client a call, and the client is not home. So, I have one cancellation for today, and I'm just going to email the office to move his visit to a different day when the client will be available. Easy peasy, nothing done. I don't get paid for that. It is what it is, right? But I'm out and going over to see my next clients for the day. So I just finished seeing my third clients, got the client started on IV hydration, IV normal saline, and that visit is done. Took me about 10-15 minutes, and I will have to come back later to disconnect his hydration, which adds an extra visit to my schedule, right? So I got one cancellation today already, but I am getting an extra visit added for my client that is getting hydration done. So um I'm back at 11 calls today, so which is good. And on to the next client. Peace out. I am done for the day, and overall I did make 12 calls today, and honestly they were pretty decent and easy, nothing too stressful. The most time I spent with one of my clients, was about 45 minutes, because that was an extensive wound care, but everything else were mostly pain and symptom management, giving IV hydration, and doing some simple wound care stuff, right? So I think today went well. Today was okay. I did see 2 clients, and it was good overall. And now to some of the disadvantages of working in a community. If you don't like driving, then this is not for you. Today, like I said, was pretty decent and easy. The most I had to drive from one client to another client was about 12 minutes. Everyone else were 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So it was a pretty decent day for me. I kind of had to prioritize my clients based off of their location, since pretty much all of them today were on timed visits, and I didn't have to see anybody at the particular time, so it was decent. Secondly, if you do not like pets and going into people's homes, then you might not like this job. Thirdly, people say it is smaller than working in the hospital. The pay is a little less than working in the hospital, but for the amount of people you get to see in an 8-hour period for an 8-hour shift, you're pretty much averaging higher than people who work at the hospital with the same years of experience, right? So, and then I'm talking about people who live and work in Canada, Ontario, to be precise. What else? I can't really think of anything else that is a disadvantage. Well, If you drive a lot, then all that adds a lot of wear and tear to your car. So I think we're still talking about the same thing. So nothing else for me. Overall, today was really good, and I'm off tomorrow. I get to take time off for 4 days in a 2 week period. One week I'm working 6 days, and the following week I'm working pretty much 4 days. So one off 1 day a week, and then off 3 days the next week. And that's pretty much the rotation that I work. And honestly, I have no complaints. I'm not exhausted, right? I am not exhausted. When I was working at the hospital, every day I get back from work, I am super tired. I am exhausted. I can't function. I can't do anything else. All I want to do is just go back home and sleep. Even on my days off, all I want to do is sleep. It was that bad, right? So things are different right now in the community, and honestly, I am loving every bit of it, right? And if you want to succeed working in the community, one piece of advice: you got to learn how to talk to people and be able to show emotion. Just talk to them. These people are just pretty much home. Most of my clients, anyway, they're pretty much home all day, just watching TV and just chilling out and hanging out. So sometimes I just love to ask them what they did for work back in the day, and just depending on what comes to mind, ask them questions. And honestly, they love to talk, right? I just don't have all day to spend with them, but I get to spend a little bit of extra time, 10, 15 minutes, because honestly, I'm just not all about the money and just doing the work. I want to see the person at the other end of that interaction or of the care that I provide, right? So I see them, I see my clients, and I think that is something they appreciate. And overall, I've never had anybody say no to me just because they don't like me, right? So I think I pretty much get along with my clients, because really you have to get along with them, because honestly, you want them to you don't want people canceling on you every time you call to come in, right? So nobody gets to cancel on me. Um it's been great, honestly, and I love it. And that's it from me today. That is what a day in my life as a community health nurse working in the community here in Ontario, Canada. That's what my day looks like, right? 12 clients. I get to go home like nothing happened. I love it. And I will see you in my next video.